The next measurement we're about to make is the very first one of the list of measurements we made while the chair is in its extreme positions. It's called seat height. And the seat height is pretty simple. One of the first things you have to do is make sure that you've set the seat as horizontal as possible. Once you've got that set up, you just slide your scale down to the slot in the chair measuring device leg, and then sight in here for the distance right across the bottom of the underside of the CMD onto the scale, making sure the scale is set just ahead of the seat itself, and then just read your number off the scale and your measurement is done. The next measurement we're going to take is the setting height. Setting height in some respects is similar to the seating height, except that it's quite different location on the seat and it looks different as you're making the measurement. So the setting height is measured just 85 millimeters ahead of the backrest line of the chair, and you simply set a T-square of some sort in there so it touches at 85, projects over here, and you have your scale set there so it touches the floor, and you take your measurement off of the underneath side of this T-square. That measurement gives you a figure that you have to adjust when you're finished by removing the 60 millimeters thickness of the buttocks from that reading. That bottom of the buttocks simulates your backside, and that's what you feel when you're setting in the chair itself. So remember, take that scale, remove 60 millimeters from it, and that's your correct answer. The next dimension we're going to take is the seat depth. The seat depth is one of the simpler dimensions we have to make, and you just simply slide your weight back and forth till this probe just touches the front of the seat. And then this pointer here aligns perfectly with that probe, so you get your measurement by simply coming up here and taking the reading right off of this scale, and you're done. Our next measurement will be taken on the backrest height, and it's the height of the backrest off of the bottom of the seat. So we're going to see here a fixture that sits on the back of the chair, and it has a scale attached over here that, if you just simply read this line here, gives you that dimension between here and the bottom of the seat. Our next measurement is going to be taken on the front of armrest position. And this particular measurement requires that the armrest be in a zone above 120 millimeters above the top of the buttocks. So we'll just take a quick glance at that, and you can see that this armrest is more like 200 and some millimeters above. So we're going to have to make this particular measurement. It also requires that the armrest be positioned as far rearward as possible. You can see here, we'll set that up to be as far rearward as possible. And again, we have to pay attention to the angle of the arm. This arm's got a slight angle on it, so we have to just cock that around so that this front of the armrest is pretty much in parallel with the backrest. So you wouldn't want to take it there or here. You got to get it right in the middle, just like that. All right, now the measurement is taken by placing this straight edge across the very front of the armrest, and you slide another scale in here, and you come back here and butt it up against the front of the CMD upright, and you take your measurement. And here we're seeing a measurement close to 130 millimeters. That will be what you record before you start to do the math on this. Our next measurement we'll illustrate is the same basic measurement with the arms adjusted all the way down. And now we're going to check and see if we're that distance of 120 millimeters above the seat or not. And as you can see here, we're very close. If you just project across here, you can see that the arm does slightly go above 120 millimeters, but only right about here does it go across that. And so I'm going to put a mark on the arm where it does that, and then we're going to make the measurement at that spot. And that occurred right about here on the arm. And so we've got a start of our, now we're making our measurement with the arms all the way down. And we're going to find here that the resultant measurement of that is much less, of course, and probably right around 85 millimeters. So you record that, and then we'll use that in our math that we're going to talk about in a minute. Our last assignment as part of this series is to do some calculations on the two values we just took. And we're told that the correct dimension, of course, is from the front of the armrest to the backrest line over here. And the measurement we took, obviously, was from the front of the armrest to the front of the chair measuring device. So we must add the thickness of that chair measuring device upright to the values we took. And that was 180 millimeters, we were told by the standard. So we add 180 millimeters, for instance, to that 85 millimeters that we took earlier. And now we end up with 265 millimeters for the total distance from the front of the armrest to back here. Okay, our next measurement that we're going to illustrate here is armrest height. And that's done pretty simply. Of course, at each of the two extremes of settings on the chair. And you just simply lay a straight edge across the front of the upright of the CMD, setting it on the tops of the arms. And it's at this particular plane that you make the measurement. And so it's very simple. You just simply lay it down there, take this scale that you see on the upright, and take your measurement off of there. And that gives you the dimension from here to the underneath side of the buttocks.